Today, I wanted to check out the all-new power bank from Anker. Anker makes a lot of really cool products, and this product I think they knocked out of the park. So let's get into the video and let's check this thing out. So I don't know if you watched any of CES, but I did, and I really was impressed with this particular power bank. Honestly, I think it has everything that all of the power banks should have had way back. Now I understand technology increases as we go, and as you can see on my right over here, I've got like my original Anker power bank. I remember when Anker was just a company on Amazon that was kind of that like, I don't know, is it really good? It's, you know, might be. They had a lot of really bad reviews. They weren't a great company, honestly, way back. But then they started getting better and they released power banks like this. This had a USB-C out and a USB-A. This is just USB-A and honestly the old micro USB port. So that tells you how far back that thing is. All right, so let's check this thing out. I would unbox this, but I already did. So we're gonna go ahead and set this over here. All right, and there it is. That's it. That's everything that is in the box. Actually, there's one other item that was in the box, and that is the Anker bag. This is a really nice little bag. Feels kind of like a raincoat, but this is really the star of the show. This power bank has a lot of really cool features, and I think, honestly, a lot of power banks in the future will copy Anker just because this has the features that you want in a power bank that you didn't even know you wanted that you now have. One of them being, it has a magnetic retractable charging cable. So that's max length. It is USB-C and it self-retracts and then magnetizes right back into the top there. It turns the power bank on the minute that you turn that on. It also has a lanyard strap. This is a nylon wrapped USB-C cable. That is incredible. I'm sorry, why do more power banks not do this? Because here's the thing. So I have to travel a lot. And when I travel, this is what I take, along with several other satchels loaded with different cords and different cables to charge everything from my Mac, my iPhones, you know, my Apple Watch. And obviously this isn't going to charge my Apple Watch. It doesn't have the MagSafe, but it has everything built in. And this has two cables. It has two extra ports. So you've got a USB-A out down here. You have three ways to charge this. So you can charge this with the lanyard, if you will, cable over here. You can charge it with the retractable USB-C cable, and you can charge it from the USB-C in and out port on the side. That is awesome, because what that means is I can take my Anker power bank or power brick here with my Anker power bank, and there you go. I've taken all of this. I might need that cable there, and we can throw that over here because now this is all I have to travel with. These two little devices here, charging my power bank and then, you know, charging my devices on the go. So how much power does this offer? Well, this has a 25,000 milliamp hour battery in it. Now, what does that mean? That this little thing right here can not only charge your cell phone, it can charge your Mac. That's right, your MacBook. Now, I have the old model now. The other model over here, this is the 27,000 milliamp hour battery. This is Anker's model from last year, and it's got a lot of cool features as well. It has Bluetooth built in. It's got two USB-C in and outs and a USB-A, but no retractable cable. And I really wish that this, you know, little guy here had the features of this little guy. But it does have a nice little base, and it can, you know, charge magnetically there. I don't have to plug it in if I don't want to. And I've got USB-C ports on the side and a USB-A port. And up until now, that has been what I take as a battery backup for my Mac. So when I'm on the go and I'm working remotely, I've got to have power. There has been times where I've not been able to get to power for several hours. And so I was looking last year. I was in the market for a new battery bank because these little guys right here just don't cut it. I mean, this is a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, and it will not charge a MacBook Pro. And this one is, I think, equivalent to that. This is a 20,000 as well. So those are great for cell phones and to throw in a bag if you're hiking or something, but they're just not going to cut it for a laptop. But this is going to charge your MacBook Pro M3 up to 50% in about 30 minutes. and that's pretty much going to kill this little guy here. You're not going to get much more out of that. But this one will charge my MacBook Pro 14-inch all the way to full from 0. Now that'll only do it one time, and then I've got to charge the battery bank. But that's just, you know, the nature of battery banks. But I love that I can throw this in my laptop bag. I've got 2 USB-C cables. This also offers 165 watt output, which is really, really nice because if you're charging a MacBook Pro, as you know, you've got to have at least 140 watts. So that is really nice that they provide that. Another thing that is really cool is that on the front here, you can hit this there's a little button on the side, and it's going to give you your battery temperature. If you're in high performance mode, it's going to give you your battery health, how many cycles, how many times you've charged the battery. It's going to, you know, turn the battery on and off, and it's also going to give you your battery status. So that is just a really nice thing. It sure beats these little LED lights on our battery banks from way back in the day where you tap them and they just turn blue and, you know, 1 notch, 2 notches. Now we have a percentage to kind of go by. So that is really, really nice. On top of that, we do have the really cool, honestly, little bag that it goes in. So you can throw it in this little bag here. I'll make sure that the cable actually fits in there like that. There you go. And cinch that down and throw that in a backpack. It's protected, it's not going to get scratched up, and you've got a really decent carrying case. And guess what? You don't need to carry USB-C cables with you everywhere. So this little guy is going to charge in about, I was at like 20%. This is going to charge up to 100% on a 40-watt charger. And that's something else to note, is that it actually tells you what the charging rate is. So I had it on one of the ports on this thing over here, and it was like, oh, that's a 27 port or 27 watt. I was like, okay, let's try this other port, and it was a 47 watt. I was like, okay, cool. So it actually tells you how fast the battery is charging. And I was charging off of this little cable here for reference. I wasn't charging off of the USB-C port on the side. But this is going to charge up in about 2 hours or so, or maybe 3 hours, from about a 14 to 20% charge. That's at least my testing, and it will actually tell you on the front how long to full charge it has. So that's another cool feature. You don't have to look at this and it's blinking and flashing, you know, blue, and you're going, okay, when are you going to be charged? Because I gotta go. This tells you right off the bat, right on the front screen, how long you have until this battery is charged. This is going to charge your MacBook Air, if you have one, the M3. I'll go ahead and look these up so you have the actual specs. This is going to charge your MacBook Air M3 1.3 times. It's going to charge an iPad M4, or iPad Pro rather, M4, 1.4 times, an iPhone 16, 4.5 times, and a Samsung S23, 4.7 times. So that kind of gives you an idea of how much power you can get out of this little guy right here. It honestly is a really, really nice device. One of the things it has is the C2 port, and when you're charging it, it'll tell you which one. It'll actually tell you the watts that are going out to each device. So if it's 100 watts, whatever it may be. This little thing is amazing, and I highly recommend you pick it up. It's about $100. You can get a coupon. I had a 30% off coupon, which makes this really affordable, honestly, for the versatility and the features that it has. And then pick yourself up a Anker at least 65 watt power brick. Again, I'm not sponsored by Anker. I have just kind of been an Anker person from way back in the day, and they've had decent products, and then they got better and they continued to improve. And now I think they're at a point where this is kind of the gold standard of power banks now. If we look back, they didn't used to be, and now they're kind of where everybody goes, and they are really starting to innovate, and I love it. So another cool thing about this little battery bank is that it has triple 100-watt power ports. So that means that this USB-C cable is 100 watts, and this USB-C cable is 100 watts, and then your USB-C on the side is 100 watts. So you can charge 3 devices, theoretically, up to 100 watts. Now, obviously, we know in practice you're going to lose some of that and it's going to drop, but you can take your iPhone here, and I could plug in right now, and let's see what we've got. So this is charging at 4 watts, 7 watts, 9, it's going up. Let me go ahead and grab my other iPhone over here, and I will grab the other charging cable here. And look how easy this is. This is super easy. Now this phone is down. This is an iPhone 16 Pro Max and 15 Pro Max for reference. So this phone is drawing 27 watts right now. charging at, and it was at about 30%. So right now the total output is 50 watts going 52, 50, somewhere in there, bouncing back and forth. So what's really cool is that I tap this button on the side, I can see my watts, which port is going to what. So C1 is the top, C2 is the lanyard, C3 is going to be, and they're actually numbered if you look on the side of the power bank. So C3 is going to be your in and out USB-C, and then you've got your A out. So, but you tap that button, you've got that. You've also got your temperature here. So this is saying I'm safe. I'm at 71 degrees Fahrenheit. That's really cool. And then my battery health is 100%. So what I really love how simple this little thing is to plug in. And just for reference, I'll grab my USB-C cable over here for my watch, and I can pop that in on the side there. I can pop off my watch here like this. So I'm on a trip, and there we go. Now I'm charging my watch, and let's see what that's charging at. 1 watt, 0 watts. Okay, so it's not charging really that high. We're sitting at about 30 watts out right now. It has definitely lowered this iPhone down. Now this is at 60% basically, but that gives you kind of an idea of the draw. I can also plug in my USB-A port here, and I'll grab my headphones behind me. Let me grab my AirPods over here, which are still using a lightning cable, and we'll plug those in. So there we go. I've got 4 devices charging. Now I did have to add 2 cables. Obviously, I've got, an Apple Watch here, but I had to add those 2 extra cables. Now I have noticed that the other 3 ports have dropped down in their output. So they're sitting at 7 watts to the iPhone 15 Pro Max over here, and then I've got 25 watts to the one that's basically dead, and then I've got about 0.1 and 1 watt going between the watch and the AirPods. So that kind of gives you a real-world test, if you will, on what you're going to get out of this. And obviously, this phone was a lot more dead, rather this phone over here, than this. So I'm assuming the power draw is going to be higher because it's going to be ramping up. Batteries, how they work is the lower charge they are, they have a lot more room to get the energy and the molecules into their places. So, from that, 5% to 80% is really fast, kind of going off a Tesla logic here, but it works kind of similarly with, all batteries. And then the higher you get, the slower that charge rate happens. So I'm pretty sure that's what's happening here. I'm not a, super power, whatever you want to call it, but that's just what I believe is happening. So I will note that right there. I'm not a power technician. I'm just seeing what's going on the device and then kind of going off of what I know other devices do. So yeah, that is the Anker 25,000 milliamp hour battery. This little device is safe to take on a plane, so it is TSA certified, if you will, or approved. It's not over the limit. This one as well, if you're interested in picking up either of these, I'll throw links in the description down below. This is definitely more. This is another 2700 milliamp hour over that one. This is definitely more for like a MacBook Pro Max, M3, M2 Pro Max, something like that, 16-inch. That's what I use this one for. This is going to be more for my 14-inch MacBook Pro, my work Mac, or iPhones, or just throwing it in a bag and going. But if you're interested in either one of these, they're great products. I've had no issues with this one. I love this one, and I am really impressed with this and what I'm seeing out of it so far. So these cables are also rated for up to 20,000 bends and retractions. So you could sit here and do that 20,000 times. No one's doing that 20,000 times, but you could do that, and that means that these are supposed to be really, really durable. This also has an 18-month warranty on it, so they're kind of backing the product, saying, hey, this is supposed to work, it's a good product, and so far, I tend to agree with them. Another thing that I noted earlier in the video is that I was seeing like 2 hours to full charge and stuff like that. That was on a 47-watt charger. But if you have a 100-watt charger, this will go from 0 to about 30% in about 20 minutes if you've got that 100-watt charger. So if you pick up, this is a 65-watt charger, I believe. I've got a 140-watt charger out there from Anker as well. And so if you pick up one of their higher-end chargers, you can get a much faster charge rate out of this, or recharge rate rather, to this, and that's going to get you back on the road and going. So just keep that in mind. They did launch a new power brick that I don't have. I have a lot of Anker's power bricks currently. I didn't need another one, but they launched another one with this. I believe it's 140 watt total output. I think it's a max of 100 watts at one of the ports, which is the laptop port. But as long as you don't need over that, you're good to go. Now you can pick up Anker's 150 or 160 watt. I don't remember the exact number. It's over on Apple. It's only sold on apple.com, but that has a dedicated 140 watt out port specifically for MacBooks. So if you're looking for something that can charge your Mac, I think it's $100, which is not terrible. It's a 4-port power brick, which is really, really nice. And if you paired that with this little guy here, I mean, you've got an awesome combo. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind if you're looking at this particular power bank. So that has been my review of Anker's new 25,000 milliamp hour battery, and I really hope you liked it. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, share, and we will see you in the next video.